Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting, well, truly up to speed. And today we are jumping into something that feels like it's just exploded recently. AI-generated images. I mean, they're everywhere. And honestly, getting so realistic, it's tough. Really tough for you, the listener, to know what's real anymore. Remember the old days? Like last year?
Yeah, it feels like ages ago now, doesn't it?
Totally. The go-to was always the hands, right? You'd see these like six-fingered nightmares or just weirdly warped
That
palms.
was the classic tell. Easy to spot.
But AI is getting much, much better at hands now. That trick is kind of fading.
It really is. The models are learning anatomy much faster.
So what's next? How do we spot the fakes if the hands look okay?
Well, that's where some really interesting new research comes in. A researcher, Federico Nicolas Baez, he's suggesting something quite different. He argues the real tell, the more, let's say, reliable watermark isn't anatomy. It's physics.
Physics, like emoji part.
It's not quite that complicated. More fundamental. He's looking at shadows, shadow inconsistencies.
Shadows. Okay, interesting. So that's our mission for this deep dive then.
Pretty much. We want to unpack how AI, even now, kind of struggles with basic light and shadow.
And what that means for, telling real from fake and maybe what it tells us about AI itself.
Exactly, because AI is brilliant at mimicking textures, objects, making things look real. But shadows involve, well, understanding how light actually works, how it travels, how objects block it.
Right, like if you have two lights in a room,
Yeah,
say one overhead and a desk lamp.
precisely. An object should cast two shadows.
Right.
And they won't be identical. One might be sharper, one softer. And where they overlap, you get this darker area, the umbra, and then the softer edges, the penumbras. It's complex.
Our brains just sort of get that instinctively. We see it and it makes sense.
But for an AI, it's not instinct. It's all data and computation. It might nail a single shadow from one source,
Yeah, we've seen that. Some look perfect.
but add multiple light sources. That's
Yeah.
where you often see problems. Shadows pointing weird ways, maybe too sharp, or overlapping in ways that just feel wrong.
Physically impossible, basically.
Physically illogical, yeah. It's subtle sometimes,
Yeah.
but once you start looking for it,
It's hard to unsee, you mean?
that's the idea. So why is this happening? Why shadows when hands are getting fixed?
It's a good question. Hands were tough because they're so complex anatomically, right? All those bones, joints, angles.
Exactly. Early AI just didn't have enough data, enough examples to grasp all that complexity. It was a pattern recognition problem.
But give it more data.
And it learns the patterns. Newer models have vast data sets. They're learning intricate details. That's why hands are improving.
We're even seeing tools specifically designed to like touch up AI hands after generation.
Right. Which brings us back to Baez's point about shadows. Fixing hands is about better pattern mimicry. But shadows, that involves the underlying principles of physics. Light propagation, how light travels. Occlusion, how objects block it. The AI can copy the look of millions of shadows it's seen. But does it actually understand why a shadow falls the way it does? Baez argues, maybe not yet.
So it's mimicking the result without grasping the cause.
That seems to be the core argument. And that, he suggests, makes shadow physics a more persistent watermark than anatomical flaws like hands, which seem fixable with more data.
Okay, this sounds like a really powerful insight. What does this mean practically, say, for someone trying to verify images online?
Well, it could lead to new tools. Imagine automated systems scanning images specifically for illogical shadows. That could be a huge help against deepfakes.
A physics checker for images?
Sort of, yeah. But it also points to a limitation in current AI, doesn't it? They're amazing pattern matchers, but maybe not true thinkers in the human sense. They replicate without perhaps real comprehension.
Which suggests maybe true general AI is further off than some headlines suggest.
It certainly highlights the complexity of getting there, understanding the world versus just reflecting patterns and data. That's a big leap.
So how does this compare to other ideas like digital watermarking? I know Google has Synthe,
Right, embedding invisible markers, that's one approach.
but those can be fragile, can't they? Compression, cropping.
Exactly. Digital watermarks are added features. They can potentially be removed or degraded by processing or even attacked by other AIs trained to erase them. The telltale shadow, as Baez sees it, isn't added. It's an inherent byproduct of the AI's current creation process. It's a flaw, a sort of ghost in the machine.
Because it doesn't truly get the physics yet.
Precisely. To fix the shadows consistently wouldn't just mean more data, necessarily. It might require a shift towards AI that can actually reason about physical principles, not just mimic visual patterns.
Wow. So for you listening, the takeaway here is pretty clear. Next time you see one of those incredibly realistic images online, maybe pause, look past the hands, even if they look perfect now,
Yeah, try and figure out where the light should be coming from in the scene.
and then really scrutinize the shadows. Do they make sense? Do they match the light sources? Do they look physically logical?
Ask yourself, does the light tell a consistent story? You might be surprised what you spot once you start looking.
It's about becoming a more critical viewer, really, sharpening your own detection skills. Well, this has been fascinating. Huge thanks to Federico Nicolas Baez for his research that sparked this whole deep dive. Join us next time as we dive deep into another topic. Until then, stay curious.
And keep questioning what you see.